Hello, my darlings. It is I, your host, Madam Tilly, and this is my friend Dia.
Hi, hi.
And welcome to the Waifu Tavern podcast, where we sit around and shoot the shit about nostalgia stuff, uh, occasionally the modern day. And today we're talking about the blue brand, no, the classic blue brand, not PlayStation, and Sega. And yeah, Sega. Yeah, it's basically been around all my life. Yeah, because I remember, I was born in '86, and I think it was like 1991 when I got my Sega Genesis. And they've always been a big pillar of gaming, and it's kind of crazy how they were like toe to toe with Nintendo, and even though they lost and got out of the console market, they're still thriving today as an independent. Um, but let's see here, so many good memories. And so I kind of feel like they kind of push Sonic a little too hard after other IPs. But yeah, we're gonna just kind of go over different stages of Sega and whatnot, and but yeah, Dia, what's your general thoughts on good old Sega?
On good old Sega, I honestly, I was born in '97, so I wasn't near any of the Genesis. But here's the thing: I used to collect like old retro games, and this one time I actually grabbed this one console. I don't remember its name, but it was able to play a lot of Sega games, and I actually played like I remembered I needed six or eight, I think it was the bigger batteries, I don't know what they're called. But they were way bigger than triple A's or not, sorry, not triple A's, like double A's and such. You know what I'm talking
C or
about.
D's?
Yeah. So I plugged those in and lo and behold, I was playing classic Sonic. But back when I was much younger, when I was a smaller demon, I was at one point I was playing a lot of this one game where I can play. I have the team of Sonic crew, like the three characters, of course, Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails. And then I played the Shadows team, Team Dark, which had
Ah,
Rouge,
Sonic,
uh, Rouge, and the robot guy.
Sonic Heroes.
Yep, Sonic Heroes I played for sure. Um, Other Sega games, I honestly, I still play them now. Uh, the one that I really, really loved as a kid was Sonic Riders. I don't know why, just hoverboards were just so freaking cool, and the soundtracks was, so nice.
What a bullshit that 2015 rolled around, we didn't get those hoverboards from Back to the Future.
Do you not know how many people would really just hurt themselves? I mean,
Yeah.
IRL wise, like I have had people, like this isn't a general thing now, Tilly. When you go to a store, right? Think of this: you go to a store and you need to get something for your phone, right? Do
Mm-hmm.
you open the package in the store or you buy it first, open it, see if it fits? Oh no, I can return it. Like what
Uh, I kind of might probably like, as soon as I step out the door, I might open it.
yeah. And if it doesn't fit, you will return it, correct?
Yeah.
Well, lo and behold, we're talking about most people. I have had people literally open up stuff right in front of me thinking it's okay, eat stuff right in front of me and never pay it and didn't pay it until they went to the register. I'm like, I get it, you're paying for it, but the fact that there is a common sense. And that's why like people can't even handle hoverboards because they can't even handle other things. Like if you can't do a basic thing of like ask, like the simple thing of asking like, "Hey, will this fit?" "Oh no, this will not." "Here it is." It's absolutely crazy.
And for us, that's how we're not going to get flying cars because there'd be so many freaking crashes.
No,
Oh.
Elon would literally just go ahead and say, "Now with the Tesla Fly, oh shit, it's going somewhere."
Uh, but hopefully, we'll at least get those automatic shoelaces. But what? Anyways, but yeah, so we start with the Master System. I didn't really have that. I think that was a big European thing.
Well,
And the cards look like cassette tapes. They're so fucking bland. It's just like it's just basically like a red stripe with like the title on it. No art whatsoever.
oh, those days, God.
Yeah, like and Atari was out at this time too. At least those things had art.
Mm-hmm. But I can tell you this: my cousin, who was born in around the '80s or '70s, he actually had the Atari. He had the whole system, and he would tell me like I would not figure out what game is what until I saw the words, and I'm like, "Well, what is this one scratched off?" And he's like, "I have no idea. I got it from a friend, and I don't even know what it is."
Yeah, because Atari are just freaking colored blocks and stuff. Like, you know,
Yeah, it's like Blue Super Mario, or not Blue, Sonic. My bad. Brain. But it was so much easier. Like I would understand it. I even go to retro game stores and I see that. I was like, whoa, I remember these. And of course, I actually like to go into retro game stores, Tilly, and actually see if I can find some rare ones.
oh yeah. Like I've actually have found the like the Wonder Swan of freaking Final Fantasy 1 and 2.
Ooh.
Uh, yeah, what are like $200 a pop for Japanese only? I'll pass.
Yeah. Now, honestly, I'm pretty sure with Sega, with today, Sonic is not just the biggest thing, and it's a competitor of Mario. Don't forget, Sega made Persona.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm gonna honestly say that I still personally love Persona, but Persona 3 Reload has really like outshined 5 and Royal and 4. Well, 4 needs to be added. Will just need to be put onto current platform since it's still using like the old PSP version because Persona 4 or yeah, Persona 4 Golden shows you the old way like oh, you have like an old school PSP,
Yeah.
but 3 is just it's so nice and I can't wait for the next DLC, The Answer.
Huh. So it's a separate release, huh?
Ye-
Interesting.
So the reason why it's separate is because originally Persona 3 was called Shin Gamma no, Tensei. So
Yep.
they originally had it as Persona 3 for that. But fans literally loved it. So the creators and Sega went ahead and just made Persona 3 FES.
Yep.
So then they can go ahead and play the DLC, which is the answer. And it really dives in to a lot of things. And here's the thing. And this is going to be actually pretty interesting. The voice actor of Sasuke was the main protagonist in Persona 3 back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And even the voice actors that played who voiced the original characters actually is still in Persona 3. They just different roles. And I find that awesome.
Yep. Lino O'Brien, Vic Mignogna.
Hmm.
Let's see here. Oh yeah, like I'm currently playing through Persona 3, the original, on Twitch.
Oh yeah, and I saw that. Like I feel like for you, Tilly, you're gonna get more of the better immersion than I'm gonna be because you're stepping back into time,
Oh
like
yeah.
more of the golden era.
Oh yeah, because I remember I used to like once a year I probably pop out the physical PS2 and play Persona 4 on it. Uh, good times.
Oh yeah, and I remember classic stuff like that. Honestly, PlayStation was always has a place in my heart. But also Sega actually made Hatsune Miku, which is still very popular. Do you know that?
I'm still a little surprised by it too, because I remember that was popular back in like '09 or something. You know?
She's still currently popular. Like she got merchandise for days.
Oh yeah, like if you go over to Japan and like she's dominated the scene.
Hmm.
Oh, then there's the fucking holograms.
Holograms, figurines, rare collector's edition ones, and I'm just like, what the hell is this? You know?
Yeah. Like I
But
actually got in trouble for Hatsune Miku concert videos I was posting on YouTube.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, because and it was like one of like the biggest viewed things I ever had too. We just putting up this concert footage, and but eventually Sega took down the channel. But it's like the videos have been up for like 6 months by then. Like why now? Like why didn't you do it before?
Someone in HR probably been like, no, no.
Dang it, that's. Oh, I guess one bad thing about Sega is when they had that little reign of terror and like they were like striking out everyone who had Shining Force footage on
Oh,
YouTube.
that was so stupid. It really was.
It's literally made me not want to go near Shining Force, even though I hear it's pretty good.
Hmm. Now,
Uh,
now here's the thing, Tilly, which was, and this is actually a great thing. So, do you know who made Devil May Cry by any chance?
Capcom.
Capcom. Okay. Sega made Bayonetta, the original one.
Yep.
And it's so crazy. Now the original Bayonetta is only in Sega, and Sega owns the rights for that. But I still very much enjoyed the first one. That was like really fun. It was a good twist to show me like, sexy woman is doing the sexy pose and shooting guns. What more can I ask?
Right.
Um, I still feel as though that for me personally, I feel very angry towards the director for Bayonetta 3 to fire the original
Yeah.
voice actors. I'm like, first of all, you didn't even pay her correctly, and you're acting like she's in the wrong. First of all, she helped bring out the character. Don't you even dare. Now, of course, we can just change like, oh, this is a different Bayonetta, yada yada. I'm like, yeah, I get it, but it's still, keep it. I don't care, just no. I like my things to be where they are.
Yeah, he's a big asshole.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you ain't gonna make Bayonetta 4, that's for damn sure. It would have to be.
Yeah, I heard he fucked off.
I'm pretty sure he did. Ah, and
Yeah, I like seriously. Ever fall in love with John? Are you? I mean, Luca? Really?
mm-hmm.
Jean was the freaking obvious love interest. Uh, but guess cycling back to the 90s. Remember when they jump ship and made the first 16-bit system with the Genesis.
Mm.
And for like a year there or something, it was just the Sega Genesis versus the NES, 16 versus 18 bits. And so they're dominating for a second. Um, man, I remember those original console wars, Sega and Nintendo. Man, people died.
Literally.
The I want to say I was more. It's like I think I was more Team Sega 'cause I didn't really actually own Nintendo much, at least while they were out. Like I think N64 was the only system I really had, while it was still current. So it's mostly like Sega and PlayStation in my house.
Oh, you know what? I remember the name of the little thing that I had. It was
What's
a
up?
it was a Game Gear Sega portable video game system. It was
Ah,
it was one of those portable ones. That was like my childhood. I loved that thing. It weighed a lot too. I felt like I could beat
oh
the
yeah,
crap out of someone with that.
oh yeah. You can put like all the batteries in a socket, beat someone to death. Yeah,
Yeah,
like whoever had a Game Gear had those buff arms. Yeah.
yet I have skinny arms IRL. um, but you know what, Tilly? I could honestly
Mm,
give one gripe about it. The stupid batteries died too damn quickly. That was
right.
the one thing that I hated. And I literally learned now, after years of playing that, um, the fact is that there was a portable battery charger. And I was like, are you kidding me? Road trips would have been easier. I would have not
Oh
bugged
yeah.
from my parents for McDonald's at all.
Yeah, so it's probably why it didn't last that long. Uh, I was talking before when I would the Dollar Tree they would sell 16 batteries for $1. But they're it's Dollar Tree brand, so it's like I'm like literally injecting the batteries every 2 hours. It's just
I
uh,
remember I went to freaking Family Dollar or Walmart or hell over here in Texas, which we HEB. I would pay so much money, and every every 4 days I have to go get a new one. And I was like, I'm tired of this. But since we were talking about you're talking about the Genesis, I have a question.
what's up?
What was up with the multiple, the consoles that fused together, like the freaking Mega Drive, Mega CD, and all that one, like the ones that apparently clapped together by Sega, that one console. Did you ever own?
Yeah. Yes. Big time.
What was the
Uh,
point? It looks so confusing to me.
yeah, because I think the point was just to drag out the Sega's Genesis lifespan and whatnot. It's just their way of innovation, which just makes me kind of wonder why Nintendo didn't go with it. They just kind of they hung on to that Super Nintendo for a while, and then made that jump to 3D. But yeah, it was just because first it was a Sega CD. Now I'll admit I go on about the Sega CD because Sega CD has been one of my favorite systems of all time. Yeah, it was very corny. Because at least 50% of the games were like FMVs, full motion videos, and of course they were small and grainy back then. But you had live action actors in these video games, and some were point click adventures, some of them were like rail shooters, and they did have higher sound quality of CDs and better animations and stuff. Um, in a way, it kind of felt like a PC game on a console. Um, and but yeah, and it's funny. Everyone often joke like nobody owned a Sega CD; they're too expensive. Which is weird because me and all my school buddies had a Sega CD. Yeah, so we just kind of traded our games around. It was with if it was a Sega 32X that made you a rich asshole. Yeah, I knew like one guy. I think I had one, um, and it's like a Sega CD popped on. It kind of looked like a smooth transition. The Sega CD design did not look too egregious, but the 32X is when it looked really fucking silly. Because that would put right on top of it, look like a big ass tumor or something, or like a toilet, top of a toilet.
It looks like something you would find like on a copy paper or a copy machine. That honestly
Yeah.
looks like what it is. Now I
Yeah,
understand
because it
there.
had a big ass slot, like you just put it in and just grind it paper.
Honestly, I feel like Sega was like looking at the new Transformers, the 1980 movie one. They're like, "Oh, we need to do that," and I'm like, and I feel like someone in HR is like, "No, no, don't do that. Just make the current console better. How about we add more?" And they're like, "Okay, whatever."
Which ironic is, you can look it up. There was going to be a Sega Neptune, which was going to be a standalone 32X version of the console, and it looked kind of smooth too. Looked pretty cool. Um, Actually, kind of looks like a little weight skill you step on, but
Oh my god, it
uh,
does.
and but yeah, like that would have been a better idea than what it came out with. What's super ironic too. I think if you count the games, there's only 32 games for the 32X. Um, but I just have some brighter graphics. But it's a Sega CD that had the full library, and it's still in my top five favorite systems. Because nostalgia, and it was because of the Sega CD and the PS1 that I just really loved games that had story and cinematics. So give me the cutscenes and stuff. Give me a nice narrative type game. Um, but yeah, I remember I just nostalgia trip every time I hear the Sonic CD opening. Uh, but yeah, that's a podcast I can do on my own, just like go over the highs and lows of the Sega CD. Uh, but yeah, the Genesis we have Sonic, the big mascot, to rival to Mario,
Hmm.
which it's funny to look at the original concepts where he had brown fur. It was named Mr. Needlenose. Not sure how they made the transition to blue Sonic, but thank goodness, right?
Hmm.
Man, I think Sonic 2 was the first game I had on the Sega Genesis, and I got it from like a back of cereal bots. Just like you had like mail in 80 these barcodes, and then we'll send you the code, the game via mail. And this is before Amazon, of course. So it's like I usually got a fucking envelope that was bulging because it had a full-on Sega Genesis case in it. It's just, I'm like, I know what this is. While we're on it, those Sega the game cases, like those Sega cases, were pretty cool. You got these movie bots designed to them, and And I like the Sega CD ones as well because they were like very long and they had this jewel case vibe to them.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, let's see. What are some of your favorite Genesis games?
I really haven't played any Genesis games, but I know I played what you were talking about, like a mm, one of one of the normal I think it wasn't a Neptune. I know for sure it was like an older one of those, by my cousins. So I literally grew up with more of um like a little bit of everything because you know how I feel like I'm one of those rare kind of people. What is it? I think they call me a generation, not generation X, maybe a Z,
Y or Z, I guess.
Y,
So you got
Z.
millennials. Like I don't. Saying is, I don't know what year each gen begins and ends. You know, but I get it because like I was born pretty much at the beginning of video games. Hell, like, I think I was born for the internet. So I always find it kind of intriguing to think of like someone like you or like a few years younger than you, because like wow, you were born at a time where there's generations before you of games that you can look back on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like really, the only thing I think I can look back forward to is like old TV and movies, like black and white stuff. Um, but so it's like what's it like having like the PS2 as your first console or something, and then when yeah, it's like oh you get the GameCube, but there's 300 Nintendos before that, you know. I always wonder what those people's perspectives are like. Um, but yeah, so yeah, you're technically born, and you got the kind of so basically, I think most of the Sega games you played are from like compilations.
Mm-hmm. So, but honestly, still my favorite was the handheld Game Gear one from
Yeah.
Sega because I was able to play so much stuff. My parents, my cousins, always trying to get me like a Nintendo DS. But you know
Yeah.
what I said? I said no, I don't want that. So I continued playing my, Game Gear, and I just like really enjoyed that because it was just so much better to me. The graphics was better, and I honestly had a much of fun time because I was like, ooh, I was born in '97, so around when I was in fourth grade, that's when I really was playing it nonstop, you know. And funny enough, I actually my this is actually some IRL stuff. So Mama Demon and Papa Demon got in an argument, and Mama, Mama Demon just took me to live in a different city, and
Mm.
we were there for 2 months. But during those 2 months, or for I don't know how long, uh, I was really, really enjoying that Game Gear. That was like my only my solace because school sucked. New life, I really didn't like it until we were finally able to go back to my hometown.
I can relate. Let's see. Not 97, so we had the Saturn.
Hmm.
Saturn's the one I missed out on. And it's like probably the worst one of the worst systems to collect for because it's super expensive. Like every game, almost every game is at least a while back was like a minimum of like $50. You know,
Hmm.
there might be a couple you might be able to find for like 30, but usually like games like 50 to hundreds. You know, it's impossible to collect games nowadays. Because even everyone their grandma knows what they're worth and what they mean to us. Um, but like, so yeah, I haven't got too much experience with the Saturn, unfortunately. But I mean, it's the same generation as the PS1. PS1's my favorite of all time, so can't be that bad. Yeah, so I love that Sega vibe. But for some odd reason, like with emulation, Saturn and Dreamcast are like really hard to emulate. Like it's easier to emulate PS2 than it is to fucking emulate Sega Saturn.
I, th-
Or even PS3.
I think it was more of the coding that was used back in the day. They used kind of like an old system for that. So like emulators are like, I can't take it. No. Uh, But yeah, I think my cousin even told me about this. He said that he wanted a Saturn at first, but he played it with his friends back when he was still in high school. And to be honest, he brought it over and we actually played, I think it was the pod racers from Star Wars. That was so much fun for me. Um, I remember,
Better than the movie.
huh?
Better than the movie.
Yep. I think it was like a maybe a year or two after the Phantom Menace. I don't remember, but I remember we did play it. But then we switched over to Sonic. So I did grow a much of an attachment towards Sonic and all the old Star Wars game because my cousin showed me like when the old 1980s, like Star Wars came out, like The Return of the Jedi, I think, or with Luke Skywalker. It was so different. But I really do enjoy those times with him. I haven't talked to him in like forever, but
Hmm.
that bonding experience is like what really like made me love video games very much.
Oh man. I should have because I know I should have watched the What Happened episode about the Sega Saturn. Because there's a little more research because on why it failed so quickly. But I guess Sega was just like space a lot of bad marketing decisions or something. Um, like Sega would say something like, "Oh yeah, we're already working on that system or and whatnot." So people are like, "Well, then we actually even buy this one." Yeah, so, like they done goof so many times. It didn't even get a mainline Sonic game. Don't I say the Sonic has a couple spin-off games like Sonic Racing, uh, Sonic Jam. Oh man, and then there's the Dreamcast, which yeah, they done fucked up. Not only through marketing, but they also fucked up with the tech. Uh, but first of all, what I liked about the design is it kind of had like that space age feel, like that controller from the Dreamcast looks so fucking, sci-fi, and the little freaking video memory card was cool. Um, But yeah, because at first, with the first release of the Dreamcast, they all I guess had some hardware issues where like the fans they would just burn up real quick. Um, and then even after they fixed that, people found out, oh, I can somehow burn the games onto regular CDs. Yeah, you didn't need DVDs, just regular CDs, and then you can just pop them in. You basically pirate the games and play them right on the console. Because you can't exactly do that, folks, with like a Nintendo or a PlayStation, where you just, put a game onto a regular blank disc and put it in your PS2. It doesn't work like that. But it did with the Dreamcast. So you're like, wait, I could save, what, 30, $50, however it costs for a new game, and just download it right now? Yeah, and put it on my console, play on TV? Yep. Well, I had, like, a big sleeve of just, games. Yeah, and, so yeah, they pretty much lost a lot of money. Unless you're people who didn't believe in emulation, then yeah, they lost a lot of money. Um, and I think by then they're like 3 strikes in a row. Fuck it, and they got out of the console market. So yeah, it's crazy. They literally had like one of the best consoles in history, and then they had went on to have 3 failures in a row.
Honestly, I just once you notice the failures, it's just like, yeah. As far as I can say, I don't know anything about the Dreamcast. All I know is my cousin just refused to talk about it. He's like, I don't want to talk about it. I find it funny every time. He just did not want to talk about it.
Uh, well, it did come and go pretty quick. Like Dreamcast was maybe on the market 2 years. Um, And funny story, the one time I ever went to I got sent to a summer camp. I was only there for a grand total of 2 days, because At first you do like the whole summer camp thing. He's playing outside and whatnot, playing around the lake. And then when we start it's nighttime. We start going into like, the cabin in this area, and of course a lot of us brought our own video games and stuff. Yeah. Um, and then all these counselors they confiscate all of our video games. And I noticed like, wait, why did you leave us the Virtual Boy and the Sega Dreamcast? Yeah, but he took everything else. And one of them said, because God loves things with a tragic past.
Huh?
Yeah. Uh, didn't quite make sense, but also, why did a kid bring a Virtual Boy? But still,
That's when I just throw my fucking game gear at the counselor. I'm like, yeah? Throws it
yeah,
at the.
that's why I was like, oh, I feel like Mom, Dad, gotta come get me. I don't like it here.
Never. I never went to camp. Actually, no, I'm lying. I have, but it was more of a school trip. So it
Yeah.
wasn't really a camp. Um, all I know is that camping was a different experience for me because I honestly just straight up did not like anybody in 5th and 6th grade. I was like, God, I can't wait. I can freaking leave. Then middle school happened. Sucked. High school, worse. I just stuck with it, took a bunch of classes, and graduated top in my class.
Congratulations.
Hmm.
I graduated with like mediocre scores. Like,
Well, here's the thing, Tilly. I had a reason to, and I know this was divulged from out of Sega, but I was in a private school,
okay.
and you know how that goes. It's like, oh, God is here. Yeah, we're gonna go buy Anne Frank's thing. I'm like, what? Because no one ever told me like of like different religions, and I'm just like, there's another one. What? I thought it was about God or something. But it was so weird. But anywho, once I had enough of their BS because they never really disciplined the people that were bullying me. So I almost I got suspended, but my mom stuck up for me. She's like, "No, we're just gonna leave." But man, we can't. He is leaving. And by the way, my pronouns I just go by Dia.
Nice.
I don't. If anybody calls me mommy, daddy, or whatever, I'm just like, okay,
I call everyone darling. It avoids a lot of issues.
darling, cutie, patootie, the mother Tilly.
I, yeah. And I've gotten better by calling just using people like they, them at first, of like assuming he or she.
Mm-hmm.
Got better at that, but like I would. Heck, I remember when I first decided like come out as trans. My sister's like, "So what's your pronouns?" I'm like, "The fuck's a pronoun?"
You're like, I'm Tilly. That's
This
my
is
that's my thing. I'm just like, I'm Dia, and this is Tilly, and those are her boobs.
yep.
You may look,
Pro-
don't touch.
Indeed, pronouns are bagels and Reese cups. Um,
But but I will quickly just do this. So I went ahead and transferred, and I had no credits, like zero. Apparently, I was in the junior middle of no middle of my sophomore year, and I had to give up a lot of stuff. I couldn't do any sports. I couldn't take any extracurricular activities. I couldn't do anything. Gave up 2 years of my summer, and I was working to get credit. So I was earning paper and doing high school homework at the same time, and yet I still came out with like was a GP what GPA was it like a 4.0 would be a top one.
yeah,
I had a 3.5.
nice.
So I was like, I had it because I was busting my ass. I'm not smart, and I graduated with everybody the same year of 2015. But yeah, that's my life story and my greatest achievement.
graduate 10 years earlier in 2005.
I'll tell you, I've just been like, hi, this is my mom. She's better than you.
Um, let's see here. Yeah, Dreamcast though. Dreamcast was pretty awesome though. It was basically like a Sega PS2. Um, let's see here. But then Sega became independent, which it's like everyone's shocked they actually survived on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Because Sonic was very hit and miss in the 2000s. And Yakuza helped a lot, even though they struggled at first too.
But even now, people start to really love everything about it, you know?
Yeah, but I'd say like pre like Yakuza 0, because I remember like Yakuza 3 and 4 originally coming out on PS3, and uh not a lot of people giving a fuck. But then Zero dropped, and suddenly everyone discovered it, and everyone fell in love with Kamurocho and Kiryu and Majima. So it was like something about Zero that just I don't know, kind of gave the freaking series a spark. Um, and now we're getting like 2 games a year at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you had freaking Infinite Wealth, which I think is like 100 hours long. Um, but let's see here. What else?
They also made
I
Shin Megami Tensei, which is basically the first start of Persona, but it was not Persona until after they made the first Persona.
say you could credit a lot of that to Atlas, though. Atlas is kind of like an independent company for the most part until it got acquired by Sega.
Yes, but Shin Megami Tensei at first, the very first one, was definitely part of Sega's thing. And it was honestly a great way to start out how Persona is. Yes, it's by Atlas, but Sega as well helped pitch in by it, and I gotta give that credit. Cause I'm sorry, like Tilly, I want an outfit of everybody I know. So say for example you in either Persona 3, 4, or 5 uniforms. I think that would look
Hmm.
cool.
Trying to think, what would I work good in? Hmm.
Well, you're the Tilly, you look good in everything.
Okay, like whose outfit would I want to be able to cosplay though? So whenever I stream Persona, I just use like a little chibi Tilly, 'cause she's got the schoolgirl outfit. Um,
Honestly, in for 3, hold on, let me look at for one of the characters. Let me see. Uh, where is she? She's the redheaded girl?
I figured you'd go for her.
Yeah, you
Subaru.
would. Yeah, you would be more like her because you have more of the. You make sure everybody gets in line and stays, and you just make
Mm-hmm.
sure everybody has a good time. But you know what? I would also see you as Aegis. You know,
Hmm.
because think about it. You are an elf, and
Right.
I just recently finished Free Ren, and I was thinking, if Tilly had that, that would actually make a great character development for that. You know what I mean? Persona 4, however, uh, honestly, their outfits need it's more generic and bland to me, like because I do like the style of it. The music always hits,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to think like what is what oh, I don't see you kind of wearing that. I feel like you would be more of have a school teacher outfit
Hmm.
because you would say, "All right, class, pay attention." And in
It's like
5,
it's like class. These are my boobs.
the class, these are my boobs. Jimmy, boobs. Stop looking at
He's
your.
down here.
Honestly, you would look good in all the uniforms in Persona 5, Tilly. Um, for the like their outfits as the Phantom Thieves, that one's hard because I don't feel like you're gonna be Panther because yeah, she has a dominatrix outfit, but I feel like you are more like you're more of a pretty but very, assertive and know what she is doing, like you I would say that you're like how a lily flower is, you know.
Right. Oh yeah, I often go for like the elvish flower motif.
Mhm. But actually this is a good question. What would you see me as like in their uniforms?
Huh. Let's see. Current Dia or like the old blue skin Dia?
Current Dia.
Okay. Hmm. So I don't know much about five. I never really played five. Um, I can really see it's Persona 4's like Rise school uniform. It's got that black with a little bit of yellow in it. Let's see here.
I mean, I could dig it.
Yeah, my X designs aren't sticking out right now because they're not too remarkable.
I can actually show one outfit. This is not a school uniform, but the character in Persona 4, Mary, I was told that in my blue Oni form, I would dress like her.
Hmm. Yeah, which I thought was lame because I thought you could actually play as her because we came off the add a female character in Persona 3 and you get to play as her and it was great. But then you get Marie in Persona 4 Golden and you can't play as her. Like what the fuck? Let's see here. Yeah, I think another reason Sega kind of survived so long too is because once they kind of went at a console market, they kind of hoarded themselves by putting their games like making game compilations for every system, every freaking console, you name it. Like there's like a compilation on Xbox 360, PlayStation 2, 3, 4, the PSP, like yeah, them and Atari really hoard themselves out.
Mm.
Uh, let's see here. I do like those compilations though, and even like there's the like Sega All Star Racing, All Star Tennis. People sleep on All Star Tennis. But it's actually really freaking good. Uh, let's see here, what else now? Okay, and they recently came out with the we're rebooting a lot of these franchises, which seems awesome. Um, because Jet Grind Radio is like really good. Like that was definitely one of the easily one of the top five Sega Dreamcast games. Um, and then it was basically kind of like an open world Tony Hawk with a freaking I forgot what that style is called, but almost not comic booky, but kind of I like the DBZ style.
Oh yeah.
Uh, yeah. Uh, and let's see here. Streets of Rage. I'm shocked we're getting another one of those because even the people who made Streets of Rage 4 were like, no, we're not making a 5 ourselves. So, but yeah, Streets of Rage, like especially 2, was definitely one of the top Sega Genesis games. Amazing. Like basically, that's kind of like the main music I use in my intro whenever I start stream. It's usually Streets of Rage 2 or Streets of Rage 4. I don't know what Streets of Rage 3 sounds like.
Wait,
Uh, what?
I just realized you said Jet Set Radio.
Yeah, our Jet Grind Radio.
Well,
Where
here's
do
the
you live?
thing. Jet Set Radio, Tilly, was like the game that I always personally love because I'm sorry, the music hit. and everything just like it was actually a motivation for me to learn how to roller skate. And honestly, I was so terrible at that, and I always embarrassed myself. I felt like I was a loser when I couldn't really do it. But then, after like doing it so many times, I actually learned how to roller skate properly. It was so much
Nice.
fun, and I could hear the Jet Set Radio, just music when you're in your headquarters, and you just hear the beat, and I was just like, oh my god, dreams do come true.
Aww. Yeah, so I never knew I had a roller skate, but that sounds very inspirational.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, like in the tennis game, a lot of the uh, a lot of the characters got their own stages and stuff. Cause everyone gets their own power up, and a lot of them get their own stages or gimmicks. And one of them, you have to basically play tennis while dodging cops trying to get you. It's just
And don't forget, you got to defeat them. It was to basically paint them a different color. Just spray paint everything. Just be like, "Shoo, shoo," and they're just running away. Now, I know that Sega stepped away from video game making, but they did make some comic books, right?
I was not aware of this. I know Sonic got a shitload of comics, but not
Yeah,
sure if there's anyone else.
I don't know either, but I feel like since Sega and say, well, Sonic is Sega's child, they would be wholeheartedly just all over it. Um, Now there's so much different iterations of Sonic, but apparently
Yeah.
the strongest Sonic in the known universe is Archie Sonic.
Hmm.
And apparently Archie Sonic is like the Sonic that you can go up against Goku and everything. Though I do get tired of how people always hype up Goku, and I'm just like, guys, really? Goku,
Yeah.
like I can understand Goku is my favorite. Goku, that, but he is not omnipotent. He's dumb. Um, and the fact is that people are like, he can beat Superman. No, he can't. Yeah, he can't. No, he cannot. You know who could beat him? Ben 10. And he would be at. And what does the Omnitrix do? I'm pretty sure I'm causing a war in your podcast, Billy. I can hear the pitchforks. I can hear the torches, and I have the Joe Swanson thing of like, bring it on. But it's just to a real thing because I do get tired of comparisons. How people are like, no, this is like Ultra Instinct. No, it's like this. I'm like, guys, stop it, get some help.
Oh no, because I remember back in the day, I did compare Sonic to DBZ because like the one that came out around the same time, and I was like, wait, seven Chaos Heroes, seven Dragon Balls, Golden Invincible Form, Golden Invincible Form, who ripped off who?
Honestly, it's honestly the same thing. Of course, 7 items, but Goku can turn it on and off. Sonic, as soon as he gets the Chaos Emeralds, holy shit! Hold on to your lunchbox. You know.
Yeah.
Um, but here's the thing. You know, does Sonic does have some quick jabs and everything, but when he needs to get serious, he does get serious, and he will actually put someone down. It has been stated before. While Goku is like, no, let me give him a chance. You know what? Let me give him a sensu bean so I can see how strong he is. Now I can hear drum, like the floor, just
Dun, dun, dun,
rumbling.
dun, dun. That's, then let's see here. Never played much of Shinobi, but it's pretty good. And Crazy Taxi. Let's see. That's kind of I think right before Grand Theft Auto got popular.
Hmm.
So that was like silly. Oh yeah, Golden Axe. Fun. You guys see a nice competent Golden Axe come out. They were pretty good. Nowadays it's like it's still too hard to fucking play. Like how did I beat these back in the day? Type of games.
Honestly, I feel the same way because old games that I play now, like I was like, how in diddly hell did I do this? And I swear the kid version of me would just be able to either power through it or know a little trick and then didn't stop. Since back then, like back in the day in the 90s and the early 2000s, I don't know where game cartridges come from because I can tell you this, it took me forever to figure out, oh wait, I could save my games instead of, doing it all in one go because Tilly, I used to do that all the freaking time.
Yep.
I had to stop and sleep, and then I wake up and then I start playing just to finish the level. I think I've beaten one game about 20 times, or I was almost there done. I think I'd done a no hit run, and I was like, next, next. Oh, I hear my cat. Hyper. I don't know what my fur baby wants, Tilly.
Uh, hmm. Treat?
Treat, or I think she just needs attention. Come here. You know what? I think she wants the pizza box. She loves boxes, so she will just lay on
Uh,
them.
yeah, my kittens are starting to adjust a little bit. Like they'll come out of the hidey hole, and they just won't come near me. Yeah, so as long as I keep like 6 feet away from them, they're fine. They're fine. Uh, uh,
But I think back to it. Sega made a lot of comics of Sonic, and I haven't seen anything about any other ones.
yeah,
But it's honestly interesting how they are willing to go so far for their favorite thing because I'm pretty sure the Sega comics about Sonic reached over to America more proliferately because of the games, and it actually dives into a lot of lore. Because it shows that Sonic was once he had a different love instead of Amy, it was someone else. And I
yeah,
think
like Sally. Yeah, Sally, Princess Sally Acorn.
yeah, and I was like, I think I saw it where she called him selfish, and he literally ripped her a new one and said, "Selfish, I did all this and that, and I literally was making sure peace was there." And of course, it was just the writers that did it. They wanted Amy and Sonic forever, but they could have done it in a different way. Show that like maybe certain people, or how people. It's like dating. Sometimes you think, oh, this person's it, but nope. It's just sometimes it doesn't work, but it's also you don't need to hate each other at the end. I feel like that would have been more of a poetic and a way to make kids understand, like, look, this could happen. But what else is there by Sega?
Gee, let's go ahead and look up Sega franchises. Just in case there's anything we might have missed. Let's see here.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I remember Alex Kidd, the original mascot. Yeah, his games suck.
damn.
Uh, I hate those games where it's like one hit, you're dead. Start beginning the level. Uh,
That almost is like, that sounds like the pre. It's like it was Flappy Birds before it was Flappy Birds. Cause,
yeah.
cause if it's like that, I would have just smashed stuff immediately and asked my mom to buy me a new one.
Oh yeah, then there's Altered Beast. That was also kind of a launch game. Let's see here. I always find that game was a little too simple, a little too rough. Um, I remember some people used to get jump scared by the transformation.
Oh my god.
Uh, yeah, yeah, we talk about Bayonetta bits. Definitely gotta go in more depth with her or something. Maybe we ever do like a platinum games type of episode.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget, you want to do divulge into anime and stuff, and like I said before, Tilly, I looked at you as soon as you said Jujutsu Kaisen. I literally just like, I feel like I would have been at your room door and be like, Tilly, be knocking, be like, Tilly, let me in, let me in.
Yeah, that's the same too. Is I don't know if I want to do like That or just go or do the retro anime. Uh,
Ooh, that's actually pretty fun.
yeah, because I was thinking, well, we just start from the very beginning, from the '80s, and slowly move forward. Yeah, we're gonna call it Slug Taku. This is,
I can. Oh, look, I have my child. She's happy. What are you doing?
uh, but yeah, so we're talking like Macross, Gundam, a lot of the '80s stuff.
Oh yeah. Definitely we can divulge into that because there is like, well, there's a lot of It's a can of worms of Gundam since I am a big Gundam fan. Um, but a lot of times with the different platforms, like of course you know how we talked about Bayonetta, right? Or like a Yakuza Zero. Now, honestly, I played the latest one where he got out of jail, and you know he and his daughter was all in a coma, and she has a kid. Now,
Huh.
I wish I finished, but it was just to a point that it was so long for me that I stopped. But I should really divulge back. But like a dragon Yakuza game, that seemed more interesting. It had more like a fantasy. It had more like a Final Fantasy kind of feel because they kind of did that, you know, just a way to spice it up, and I do love it honestly. Um, Another game that Sega made was Fantasy Star Online.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be
Uh,
honest, I
so,
played it once or a few times on the Microsoft, but this was during the time, Tilly, that for some reason it did not freaking work, and it was not on Steam. It had to be on the Microsoft store, like legitimately the Microsoft store, and it was so bad. But once you get it going, it's like, ah, here we go. But everybody has made like so much of their stuff, like some of their lore they have, and I could give this. Some people actually done RP in Fantasy Star with it, but I was more in like the whole acting period, or you know the whole like I was front row seat of seeing that, and I was just like, eh, you know, because it was very cringe to me, you know, and nothing wrong with the game. It was just lost track.
also speaking of what worked too is the Dreamcast actually had working internet for a '90s console.
They had a working internet.
Yeah.
How did that make it work?
I see. I don't know if it was dial-up, but you plug your the Ethernet cable into it, and that thing had good internet connection. Um, so 'cause there was a few games that could play online, including Fantasy Star Online, where it all started. Um, let's see here. Whereas PS2, you kind of need that add-on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if it's Star, I know like they cut the current one out. So if I ever want to play, it's there. It looked pretty neat though. I really like the action vibes. Uh, um, let's see here. Going through. Condemn's a pretty underrated horror game. Um, that they've done things since 2008. Uh, oh yeah, Echo the Dolphin. For some reason, Echo the Dolphin was a big ass fucking like mascot character, even though his games were like hard and bizarre as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
There's also Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble.
Yeah, never got to that. I can see the appeal.
I can see
Um,
I can see it
yeah,
too.
so I don't like monkeys, so I never got bothered with it.
I gotcha.
Uh,
They, you know, actually, surprisingly enough, Sega made Alien Isolation. Now that has been a reoccurring game that I see streamers always play, and it's always so interesting to see their, you know, scare. But honestly, I hate, you know, doing all that because I'm not gonna lie, I would punch a xenomorph so quick. Or if you know the Tilly, have you ever seen the you know the meme where somebody got scared by a ghost, but it's their friend in a sheet? but they
Yeah.
start screaming, and then they brought in a a foldable chair, and then they smacked the hell out of them while they ran away screaming. That would be me.
I mean, I freaking love Alien Isolation. It's crazy that it's now 10 years old. Because that game feels like it came out like maybe late PS4, but no, it was in the PS3.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and one reason I love it is that love watching streamers squirm to it.
Yeah.
Because of the difficulty and random nature, it's kind of one of those games where you can't really like speed run. Um, because speedrunners they just like to break games and they plan routes and strategies and stuff. And that game's just random and hard enough that it's like really hard to do that. Um,
Uh.
uh, let's see. They did House of the Dead, which is a bunch of like corny rail shooters for zombies.
Mm,
They just couldn't compete with Resident Evil.
I mean, yeah. There was also one game that I kept seeing when I had my PS4 and now I have my PS5, Vanquish. I was looking at it, I was like, oh, that's looking cool, but I'm not interested at it at all. And it was a free game. I don't
So,
know. I really don't know. It was just like something like, okay, I could see the appeal, but I don't want it.
yeah. It's like I loved and hated it at the same time. Cause like, oh man, you get to zip around on fucking jet boots, and it's a third-person shooter. There's giant mechs. It's pretty cool. But I really was annoyed by the main character. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Not only did he act like a standard white dude douche, but also the guy kept constantly taking his helmet off. When you're in a fucking a war zone, get shot at. I'm like, put your fucking helmet back on.
It's like in Helldivers, you're like, come on, soldier, put it back on. It's still crazy. Now, of course, we can go ahead and divulge into into Sega and their movies, in which they actually help produce, which is pretty interesting. Um,
Tell.
let's see. Oh yeah, and don't forget, Sega made Tetris, which is still a big deal right now. Even they made tournaments and everything for it, which is crazy. You know,
Hmm.
to me, it's just like, there's so much that I don't know, and it just seems it's like pretty awesome. Um, did you know that I think Sega did this? Um, I believe they helped make End of Evangelion.
I believe you're right. So I'm looking under license franchise. I saw it in here somewhere. Yeah, Neon Genesis Evangelion. Yep.
Yeah, I just want to point out they made the one movie of Neon Genesis Evangelion, like the end of Evangelion, the first one ever. It was such a roller coaster of like these emotions, and of course Shinji's iconic. What did he do with Asuka? Kind of shtick. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we don't need to put two and two together. But
Yeah.
it's pretty interesting how they made this movie and it's still being talked about now, and I honestly like that. It just shows how much dedication into the franchise of Evangelion they were willing to help produce. But oh, I think you were gonna like this one, Tilly.
Yep.
They made the Sakura Wars. Have you ever played Sakura?
I never played it.
It's a fun game. It's like how the main protagonist, of course, has these other love interests that you can go after. Of course, I picked the main one because why the hell not? But it was very interesting how they brought in like actual like mechs to that type of game. It's like almost it's very interesting to me, and the fact that I helped bring back a theater back to life, and it divulged back to the original Sakura Wars as well, the 2001. I personally played it, and I honestly loved it, and I wanted to get all the gunpla for it, or the figurines for it to make their because I still love that game, and I was like, all right, that's cool.
Um, Now, two series I want to talk about quickly. One is Valkyria Chronicles, which is a neat, kind of like a war tactics type of game. It's kind of
Hmm.
tactical RPG, but just it's got to play with a bigger scale, and it's got like this interesting art style.
Hmm.
It does have some fan service if you're into Booba, which I know you are.
I'm just like searching it up right now and just like typing away. I'm like,
It's now the way these games came out is kind of weird because the first game is released on everything, you know. Then the second game, just on PSP. Like, oh, okay. I guess things didn't go so well. Kind of weird. Third game, it's in Japan only. Okay, that's really weird. Fourth game, it's back on everything. Like what?
what?
And they even released like a compilation pack. It's just 1 and 4. And like what? Where's 2 and 3? What the fuck? Yeah, re-release those.
Also,
um,
um, Tilly, I think you're going to be interested on this.
yo.
I didn't think they produced this, but apparently, Sega actually helped produce Tower of God, which is by a webtoon comics, and
Oh, neat.
it's one of my favorites. Now, I understand people don't really. I feel like people hasn't really given this more of a chance because here's the thing: the webtoon comics. Oh my god, it just divulged into literally everything. It just turned up like basically think of this. You see the intro of an anime, you're like, oh great, this just sucks. And then as soon as season two comes out, you're like, oh shit, this is fire, you know? And I can't wait for them to finish it. But another classic anime they actually helped produce into a movie is My Goddess. And I used to watch
Oh, nice.
I used to watch all the old school anime of that one.
I was a big fan of Erd.
Oh yeah, Erd was like my favorite.
Yep.
I was like, I'm sorry, Erd, tall, big booba, dark skin, white hair. Yes. And of course, Belle Dandy's like the sweetest person ever.
Oh yeah.
And then Skull was the annoying sister, and I was just like, please shut up.
Yeah. They had that one side character like the fuck trains.
Oh yeah.
uh, um, funny thing is like Laura Croft, Tomb Raider. Everyone always thinks of her as a PlayStation One character, like franchise, but no, actually she started off on Sega Saturn.
Oh
Um,
yeah. I remember that they did.
let's see here. Another franchise, Shenmue, the very first open world game. Um, like Shenmue, it's definitely like a love it or not say hate it, but it did not age well in my opinion. But at the time, it was huge. It left a big legacy, a lot of cinematic cutscenes and whatnot. Decent combat from what I hear. The only problem is that because it's the very first open world game, go playing newer or more recent ones and going back to that one, you could have issues. Like essentially, I tried playing the game and I still got ready to rage quit after like 4 hours
Oh,
because I couldn't figure out where to go. You know, I'm sure there was a map, but there was like no like markers. Like you were here, you got to go there. No objectives really. Like you said, like I kind of had to go into every building, search or talk to every person. I suppose. So I basically I like that whole 4 hours I didn't get to a single battle. So I felt one that the game's kind of bad pacing there. At least Yakuza, gave you a couple fights and stuff. It got you some decent pacing. But no, I spent a bunch of time going nowhere to go. And funny thing is, You ever meet someone that's like kind of popular, but you just tell them to fuck off because they call you at the wrong time?
Oh yeah, I've done that.
So as I'm getting more and more annoyed with Shenmue, the top Shenmue streamer rolls into my chat. This guy must have had like 50,000 followers or something. And he came with that attitude, like like welcome to the community type of saying, And he's like he asked me how are you liking the game? I'm like I'm fucking not, And he's like oh, that's just
Look, the honesty is the best policy, and plus, if you're ready to rip someone a new one, at least you're just doing it with a smile. But I had that moment, but I also had a moment of like, look, if I'm pissed off, there's no way to talk to me like normally. I will literally just, you know, throw hands before asking questions first.
right. And like hindsight, of course, I should have handled that a little better, but it's like just move along. You did not gain another fan. Yeah, this is yeah. I never played this game again. This is sort of thing.
Mhm.
I might play it, but might have like an open fucking walkthrough in my on the other monitor if I do. Oh man. Uh, oh, I heard Skies of Arcadia was a decent JRPG as well. That they finally poured like recent give it a recent re-release. Uh, let's see. Are there any other movies? I think we kind of covered them, but all in all, Sega's happy to have them around. Happy they're a good Sonic and Yakuza machine. Hopefully they just keep oh yeah, okay. Do more Strider. Do more Strider. But yeah, hopefully they just keep reviving IPs and stuff and innovating. Uh, uh, it would be nice if they got back to the console market, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
Oh man, I like to think that there's just a lot of nostalgia people would totally jump on it, but anyways, let's see. I guess it's time to wrap it up. Any closing thoughts on good old Sega?
Honestly, Sega has done a lot for everybody to really, uplift everybody's memories and other stuff. And really, it's just like they had some ups and downs in the beginning, like when they first had their consoles and stuff. But now
Mm-hmm.
they seem to do much better than before. And I personally think that I was able to touch some of the stuff that they had back in the day because of my cousins and everything, because I was built or I was really indulging myself of what it was like back then.
Yeah.
But one thing I want Sega to do, hurry up and goddamn give me Sonic 3, the movie. I want Shadow. Quit.
Well, we know it's happening, so
I don't want to wait.
it's just. What'd you think of Knuckles?
Honestly, I get it, but I actually I haven't seen the second movie, which is fucking ridiculous. I hadn't had time, but I've seen
Hmm.
clips and I understand his anger and everything, but Sonic said it best. Like, look, thing we both lost so much.
Okay, so I was at the Knuckles show, but I guess you can see now on either because that kind of picks up right where I left off.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely watch them both back to back if you can. In preparation, I would say Sonic 2's got a lot more action. So if that gets your jollies, then yeah, because Sonic first Sonic movie didn't have too much action, but uh yeah, looking forward to it. Crazy that this might be Jim Carrey's final movie. I don't think it's neat. His final movie is going to be doing his very first trilogy.
I mean, think about it. He knows it's about time to retire, and
Yeah,
to be honest, I feel like he will say the same thing. He's like, I'm tired, and honestly,
right.
I respect that because Hollywood has taken a lot. but at least he has more of a, like more of a positive outlook on stuff because
Hmm.
he was very controversial at first, but I think he just learned to, keep his head on straight and, go back to who he was originally, a funny person and an actor that's willing to put the best that he can out. I mean, he's a living legend. He was Ace Ventura. He um he was the Grinch. He was, he was a part of many different roles, and you have to give him mad respect.
Oh yeah. Well, once again, too, bro, because he said he doesn't like doing sequels for some odd reason. He doesn't like doing sequels. Um, and so he only did like one sequel ever, Ace Ventura 2.
Mhm.
So the fact this is not only another sequel, but it's his very first and only trilogy, and he's going out on a trilogy, is kind of interesting way to like wrap up the career.
He says
Uh,
he doesn't like it, but he's willing to do something to make it, like very memorable. I get props.
yeah, we say if it's good, damn good script, and I guess he's I think he just really liked playing Robotnik as well. Um, and hey, I believe he's getting the fat suit so for the third movie. So
Oh, he is.
he's one. Yeah. At least that's what I'm assuming. I mean, he's been wanting that since the first film, and I can't say because of spoilers, but I think I know a good reason why he would be fat in the third movie. But you need to watch the second one before I can divulge.
I gotcha.
But uh, but I would assume yeah he would get the fat suit on and stuff. Oh man. Okay, anyways, darlings, gonna wrap it up here. Thank y'all for listening to us ramble about the Blue Brand. What are your Sega memories and thoughts? And where it's gonna go, what you like to see, what not. Yeah, what are some of your favorite Sega games? List them in the comments. We love y'all.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.